Srimathy, welcome to episode 9 of Excellence Speak series. Like I told you, Excel's been into training for the last 17 years now, and we knew that, ups and downs, to hum dikhte rehte hain, yaar. So the one that we wanted to focus on right now is that in spite of, various things that are happening, pandemic, ye, wo, all of those things, can we be positive? Can we look at the future with expectations? Okay, so we wanted to bring experts, role models, people who are excellent in their field to come and speak about it, and so that we can, spread the message through the social media. Okay?
One small correction here.
Yes.
Excellent in in their field. Matlab, I thought you were going to bring all people who were like good human beings, humorous human beings. Forget Goli Maro, all these
Like
excellent
you.
in all these things
Like
here.
like you, इसीलिए तो तुम्हें लाया.
So before that, Hajir Shriman.
नमस्कार. कैसे हैं आप?
बहुत बढ़िया उन्नी, बहुत बढ़िया. Thank you so much for having me in.
Yeah, wonderful to have you also, Srimathy. So, like I mentioned to you, so this whole thing is about finding out whether we can, look at life a little more positively. So I'm going to ask you this first question, which probably you've been asked many times. Okay, but I'm going to put it a little differently. Okay, because we go a long way back. NCC is what brought us together, and
Yes.
you are currently, I would say, a role model for women who can dream, dare, and deliver. Okay. So tell me, what will be, if you were to identify just one quality in you that helped you make this happen? What would that be?
It's actually very, very difficult to point out one quality, because, with one thing, to spike up so much is very difficult. But the one thing that most women give up, that which I wouldn't give up is the never giving attitude, never giving up attitude. How many ever times I fall back, I like to rise and, because I feel that I've born for a particular purpose. And, you don't have, the roads are not laid with bed of roses. So, there are a lot of thorns laid. But in spite of that, you are born for that purpose. So don't give it up. Don't give it up. So how many ever times you have to fall down, forget it. Nobody is going to give their hand to pull you up. Nobody, not your husband, not your daughter, not your son, not your parents, nobody. It's your grit, determination to bounce back. And that's what, I think I've done. And I think NCC is what has put me there. And of course, being a national basketball player, that again helps me, So I think that's what I would say.
Perseverance, if I were to put it in another word, the perseverance, never to, let go, continue.
Right.
It's like the long distance runners, basically after a particular point, even though you're physically down, you're still bounding because you were expecting to finish, so that's amazing. Very nice. Especially now, whenever I see these newspaper reports, someone committed suicide, any TV failed, so they committed suicide. All these actors who are supposed to be role models, one by one, they're going, "Arey yaar, come on, where are you guys?" So that's one
Exactly. I mean, there is no determination. The grit isn't there. You're made. I would say steel and you. I think human beings are more tougher than steel and diamond.
Absolutely. And I really can't understand why it is, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. You have pioneered this effort of reaching space research to all kinds of people, and they are all richly deserving, but underprivileged. Probably they never would have had that particular hope of reaching there. I mean, it must have taken so much of, travails to reach there, So I want to ask you, give us one high point in this particular endeavor that you've been pioneering for so many years now. One incident which says, "Yeah, everything that I've gone through is worth it."
To see the smile on the face of my lead scientist Rifat Shahrukh, a child who who grew up in a small town where, not much of internet facilities and everything was there. He lost his father when he was 8 years old, not knowing there were only women in the family. And, he just was craving for something that, he could realize his dream of making satellites, of building satellites when he was, 8 years and 9 years old. And he was literally clueless. And, it was destiny. I think we met when he was 13 years old. And from there on, he's been my child, my son, I should say. And my baby, I call him my kuti. And, the day we sat down and we built and designed and built the world's lightest satellite, where he took the lead. And, we built about 12 balloon sats, 2 suborbital sat, and 1 orbital satellite. And everything was spearheaded by Rifat. And today, Forbes magazine, History Channel, HBO, you take anything, we are there. So I think, bringing Rifat into my life is what is the best thing that has happened to me in this journey.
You know what?
The child.
I can feel tears in my eyes, so I understand what you must be going through there.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's and because you said it's one, I mentioned Rifat, but the entire team is like that. Different children, all my kids. Yeah. And today, we are what we are. We proved that, there is something when you create a platform for children, India can be placed in a great height.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
The Indian flag can be placed in a great pedestal.
Srimathy, you know that we are also into this life skills coaching, and we interact with students of all kinds across the country. And all these moments when they come back to you and say, you are something that created me, it explodes.
Absolutely,
okay,
yes.
So now that you mentioned that smallest satellite, so I'm going to diverse a little bit, and I want you to tell me about this gulab jamun satellite, please.
You talk about that, I get very excited.
Perfect.
It's like maddening. I'll put everything in a nutshell. It was all maddening, and we were all crazy to build a satellite. But the team, the 7 of us, and all kids in the team. There is no adult. Okay, so everybody. Yeah, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest. Okay, so everybody between the ages of 14 until 20. So it was so exciting that we wanted to we had a success story of building the first balloon sat in the country and launching the balloon sat. After that was just like LKG. After the launch, immediately after the launch, we felt like, "Arey baap re, we've done it, so that's it. Oh my god, then we have to do a orbital launch." From LKG to PhD, that is PhD. We were so excited and ambitious to do that. But in between, you have a suborbital launch. That experience is fantastic, actually. So, but for a suborbital launch itself, you needed about 25 lakhs. And 25 lakhs was like, bahut dur ki baat for us. So we were wondering, yeah, what do we do? And, when we, all these kids started, like, make a gulab jamun for us, we've already had the success of launching the SkySat. Come on, you got to. So you have to balance between a mom and a ma'am, just an A and an O. And, so I had to run into the kitchen to make gulab jamuns for them. And while having the gulab jamuns, my lead scientist and my lead engineer, both of them were like enjoying the gulab jamun. They were not putting it in their mouth, but they were looking at it and they were like, wow, what a small size. And the color is so beautiful. The, mass weight, they are, physics student and aeronautic students. So the mass is so light. And I'm like, come on, guys, have it. And they were like, ma'am, if at all we could make a satellite as small as this, we wouldn't need so much money. Just that we need somebody to launch this. We can build the satellite, but we need somebody to launch it. And nobody will launch such a small one. And even for this small one, you needed so much money. So destiny played a beautiful role. And, in a span of 2 days, NASA announced a competition where we had to make something within 64 grams and send it to them. So we sent this proposal and they flipped. The director of Colorado Space Grant Consortium, they were the knowledge partners to NASA for selecting the winners.
Yeah.
And that director was like, we are conducting this competition for the last 4 years. And man, how did you guys, get this idea? We're so happy. And that too, all teenagers doing this. Amazing Indians you are. That's what he said. Amazing Indians you are. And so that's how, our Gulab Jamun satellite was born. And it went up the NASA Stereo Orion rocket.
Yeah.
And first ever time an Indian satellite, a student satellite sitting on the NASA's rocket went up.
Amazing, amazing, totally amazing. And I feel that's what. So I can feel this whole passion in you, yeah.
You're
And
crying.
just imagine, no, it started with an Indian sweet.
Exactly. And here it is, the shell. This is the shell, the structure.
Yeah.
And first ever 3D printed Unni, we had so many records on this, So necessity is the mother of invention. We were pushed hard. We do not have a lab. We do not have anything. But still, we made alternate methods to do all the testing and everything. We put it through the fan. We did the spin test. We put it inside our freezer box. Then we put it on boiling water. Testing was done in all these alternate methods, just to say that, if our kids are given one opportunity, we will rock. Please don't push them hard and, tell them they are useless. Please don't do this.
It actually reminds me of this, Mission Mangalyaan movie also, it showed so many of all these lows and highs, So that's what I wanted to ask you next, okay? So many highs.
You're crying.
Yeah. I'm having tears in my eyes. Why not? So that's what I want to talk to you about. Yeah. See, when we talk about these lows and highs in your life, I mean, like this pandemic thingy has come across. I'm sure you also must have been affected, not being able to meet and do and stuff like that. But I just wanted to know. I mean, as an advice to all these people who are, rondos about pandemic, what do you feel that we need to see this?
Well, see, you just, and the whole entire pandemic thing, in spite of having all negativity surrounded around you, I felt, that humanity aroused, even during the flood time, cyclones and all that, the youth of the country just came out. They came out of their houses, they were together and they brought a huge change to the country. Even if they couldn't shell 1 rupee from their pockets, they were able to collect a lot of money and, effectively use that money. You won't believe my team, I run a foundation also, Sky Star Foundation, and I cooked for 1,000 people every day. So for 100 days and ration and everything. So initially, I could pump in my money, but how long can you do that? But my team is filled with youngsters. Just like in a jiffy, they could, mop up money. We had bottles, we had rice, we had dal, we had everything. And not only that, even the workers, migrant workers, we were there every day providing food for them and water for them and putting them into the trains and everything. So the youth of the country, I think, humanity aroused, togetherness, brotherhood was seen. And I wouldn't say it's negativity. I think the best thing has happened. Pandemic is, I think it's the best thing that's happened to our country. I mean, to the world, of course, but in specific to our country.
That, I feel in India at least, I mean, this is just a personal opinion, okay? I've seen that whenever there is crisis now, I mean, you take this Varda, the Puyal that happened in Chennai, the Chennai floods, for example. I mean, there are so many of them who just erupt out of, the woodwork and the trees and the roads, and they become a part of it. I mean, they might be a little unorganized, but they're so passionate about being part of something. That really amazes me. I see
this 2015 floods only. In fact, from our team, we lost a child. He went into a manhole. Right in front of his mother's eyes. That was a disaster. He was working with us for 1 month. And, that fatal day, he passed away. How he would bring in, we went to a girls' hostel and we tied dupattas, like in NCC, 3, 4 dupattas together. We actually carried, these boys, young boys, and none of them had any, negative attitude at all. It was just that, they were thinking that, they had to help these people come down. And, I think that's beautiful. It's just that I think we have to build this comradeship and, humanity among children, more than stuffing them with engineering, engineer, doctor, forget that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think NCC has shown us that, to a large extent, I feel NCC put together this whole qualities that we feel are required for leadership, of being able to work in teams, handling crisis, handling the lows, handling the highs. I think that way, I think we need to be very, very thankful to NCC.
We are blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, that's what. So I don't think quite a few people have that opportunity now. So I wanted to ask you this question, which I normally ask every person who's there in this particular series. What do you think that we need to enhance in our younger generation? What qualities do you think? What skills do you think that they need for them to become great citizens of not only India but also of the world? What do you feel?
I think they need to have patience first. In a flurry of a moment, they take decisions, good or bad, they don't know, but they just take decisions, So they need to be trained to be more patient, calm, and, they need to understand, self-introspect, where they are, and, togetherness and teamwork, team spirit. It's not I come on a newspaper, I come on a television. No, it's like we, the thought of we to be, more. And more than education, I would say humanity. You need to spread humanity. You need to teach children to be more humane. And I think that's what, I think I read somewhere, you want to be an engineer or a doctor, and there is a person who says, no, be a good human being. There are a lot of vacancies available.
I completely agree with you. We keep doing these programs. You know that I have a very strong team of armed forces officers, administrative officers who help us run these programs for students.
Right.
We're doing all of these actually. We're talking about personality. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about working together. Creative writing, critical thinking. These are the things that we are trying to inculcate these people, and I think that's where the key is for us.
A beautiful India, building a beautiful India, because it's the most youthful country, and it's just that we are only talking and telling, reading out percentages, saying that 63% of youth in our country. But what actually are we doing with that youth? We are not utilizing their energy at all. So it's just wasted, and we have a brain drain again.
And you know what? Actually, all these examples that we spoke about, these crises that happened, the pandemic that happened, I always feel practically you see them emerge beautifully. If you stick them to these, lessons and class and, academics and all that, you will never see the true them,
It's so boring.
You put them in an
they have leaders like you, Unni. I would say if they have leaders like you, Unni, they just need that navigation. You would have seen, they have all qualities with them, but they just needed that navigation, to take the right path. If we could do that, I think, we have the best of the population, youth population in our country, and our country would flourish.
You know what? I'm going to be talking like a millennial, saying that we already have entire framework, hardware, everything is available. Only joystick is missing. That is us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so like I said, I want to keep this within the 15-20 minute framework. So I want you to give one last message to the younger generation. What do you feel you want to pass on to them?
I would say stay positive, stay strong. You have the power of social media, and you have a lot of other things which we lacked, yesteryears. So utilize that strength. And please, forget the negativity. There is nothing negative at all. There is only positivity there is an opportunity in every negativity. So just point that and pull that, opportunity, and take your fellow men along with you. create a beautiful India.
Lovely.
Jai Hind.
Hey, that is a fantastic message. But what it reminds me of, some of people talk about us generation as okay, already past so and so. No, but I feel we are the luckiest people here. I'll tell you why. Because we had an opportunity to play in the street, any road, whenever we got a chance, climb trees, fall from trees, all of that. And also now today we do WhatsApp also. What an opportunity, yeah. They never got it.
We are like the cream in the cream roll.
I know. Absolutely, absolutely right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Srimathy, for being with us. And like I said, you're an inspiration to people. I'm really wonderfully glad that you were part of this particular series. And I'm sure this is going to inspire quite a few people. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Unni. Thank you for thinking of me. I mean, I'm so glad. And this introduction has been so light and emotional at the same time, because we did address some of the key points. So, it's not just talking about, success stories and everything. So this is very, very beautiful. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And Sabji, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.